Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello learners, welcome back to our microeconomics and its application course. We will be doing the third lecture of Unit 5, that is, we will be talking about price discrimination today. I am Dr. Aparna Samudra, who is going to present this lecture. Let us, my dear learners, have a look at what are going to be the learning objectives. Today, we will be understanding the concept and types of price discrimination. Then, we will understand the price determination in price discrimination, and thereafter, we will compare perfect competition and monopoly. Right? What we had done in the previous two lectures of this unit was we have already discussed that what is perfect competition. We have seen that how price and output is determined in perfect competition. Thereafter, we saw that what are the features of a monopoly and how price and output are determined, that is the profit maximizing output and price are determined by a monopoly. The last lecture, when we finished, I told you that a very unique strategy which a monopolist uses in order to maximize its profit is of price discrimination. So today we will be going ahead by understanding that what is price discrimination, what are its types, how the monopolist uses it to maximize its profit, and then of course we will be comparing perfect competition and monopoly. So let us start by understanding what do we mean by price discrimination. I think the name itself is quite self-explanatory. Price discrimination, that is, there is a discrimination in the price which is being used, which is being charged to the buyers. The buyers are being divided or they are being charged a different price. They are being discriminated on the basis of the price which is going to be charged to them. So what is price discrimination? We say price discrimination refers to the selling or charging of different prices by a firm to different buyers for the same product. That is, if a seller is selling same product or a service to different buyers and the seller is charging different prices to these buyers, then we call it as price discrimination. Okay, I am offering you the same service, but to each one of you, I am charging a different price. That means I am discriminating. I am doing some kind of a difference between all of you and charging you a different price. So that is called as price discrimination. Is price discrimination always possible? Do you think all types of sellers can do this practice? Can use it as a strategy? To understand that, let us see that what are the conditions under which this price discrimination can be done. The first condition we say is that there should be existence of some monopoly power. Yes, I already told you that this price discrimination is a strategy which is used by a monopolist. Why? Because it wants to maximize its profit. So there must be certain power this monopolist has. Therefore, he can charge you different price to different buyers. So there should be, this particular firm should have some type of monopoly power and there should be no competitors. Okay, there should be no close substitute. Otherwise, if I am being charged different price and you are being charged a different price by the same seller and I have an option to go into another seller, then this means that this firm has lost its monopoly power. So it will not be able to do price discrimination. So price discrimination can occur only if the monopoly power exists. Okay, then there should be existence of different markets for the same product. That is, the firm should be able to separate customers according to the price elasticity of demand. That is, he should be able to do a segmentation of the whole market of the customers based on certain characteristics, and he finds that one market has inelastic demand, other market has an elastic demand. So using this difference in the elasticity of demand in these markets, he may be able to segment the market or divide the market into different subparts. Okay, which will enable him to charge different price to these different customers. Right? So first condition we have said is there should be existence of monopoly power, that is no close substitute should be there, no close competitors should be there to this firm. Second, we are saying there should be existence of different markets for the same commodity, that is the firm should be able to segment, divide these markets on the basis of the price elasticity of demand. Then we say that one, you have already divided the market on the basis of elasticity. Then because he knows that one market has higher elasticity, one market has a lesser elasticity. That is, one market has an elastic demand, other market has an inelastic demand. Using this different in elasticity, he may charge different price. He may charge higher price in inelastic market and a lower price in elastic market. Then the cost of the separating market should be low. If it is not low, I am trying to divide the market between two people, between two different buyers, and the cost of separating this market is high. So what will be the whole objective of dividing it into the small segments? Because ultimately the cost of separating may cover up the cost of making that extra profit. Right? So the cost of separating the market should also be low. And then, very important, there should be no resale. That is, it should not be that the products are purchased in the low price market and then resold in the high price market. Then there will be no need of price discrimination if it can be done. Therefore, generally, whenever we talk about price discrimination, we see that many times, particularly in case of services, price discrimination takes place because services get destroyed once it is provided. So many times you find that the doctors may be charging for the same treatment a higher fees to a patient who has got a greater capacity to pay, and lesser fees to the consultation fees to the poor patient. Similarly, when you go to watch a movie in a cinema hall, for the same movie that you are seeing together, one particular part of the hall is being charged or a different price, and if you're sitting in the balcony seat or the box seat, you may be charged a different price. So prices get discriminating because the seller knows that there is a way of separating this market, right, based on the elasticity of demand they divide, and they know the cost of separating this market is low, as well as the product cannot be resold by being bought in the low price market and being sold in the high price market. Okay, now what are the various types of price discrimination? One, we have understood that price discrimination basically means that the seller is charging different prices to different buyers for the same type of a good or service it is providing. Okay, we have already understood that not every seller can do price discrimination. Price discrimination can be done if, for example, a firm is a monopolist, maybe in one market, maybe it is facing competition in another market, therefore elasticity of demand is different. So where it can exercise its monopoly power, where the demand is inelastic, it may be selling at a higher price, and where there is competition, it may be selling at a lesser price. Okay, now what are the various types? of price discrimination. There are three types, we say: first degree, second degree, and third degree. So three types of price discrimination: first degree price discrimination, second degree price discrimination, and third degree price discrimination. Let us understand all these three one by one. We will start with first degree price discrimination, what is its meaning and how it is done. We say first degree price discrimination is when a firm charges consumer the maximum price that he or she is willing to pay for each unit. That is, highest willingness to pay is checked, and whatever is your highest willingness to pay, that is the price at which the firm is selling the consumer that particular product. This particular price discrimination is also known as perfect price discrimination. Okay, the best example of first degree price discrimination is an auction. I hope all of you understand what is an auction. That is, for the same product, people bid for it. Whoever bids the highest. What is bidding? Bidding basically means it is showing at what price you are willing to buy that product or a service. So whoever bids the highest, he is given that product or he buys that product from the firm. This means that by bidding the highest, that person has exhibited his willingness to pay. And that is the price at which the product is being sold to him or her. So that is the best example of first degree price discrimination. And in a first degree price discrimination, what happens is that there is no consumer surplus which is left. Okay, let us see from this figure that what I am trying to tell you. So if this is a first degree price discrimination, we see our demand curve and the marginal revenue curve. Let us assume that your marginal cost is constant. So the point where your marginal cost is equal to your marginal revenue, this becomes your equilibrium level of output or the profit maximizing output. So monopolist but will charge the price which the buyer is willing to pay, the highest price which is willing to pay. Okay, which we have said that it is called as perfect price discrimination. So in this case, as I told you, there is no consumer surplus. So this whole area becomes your monopoly profit. Right? Because you said that my highest willingness to pay is 10 rupees, let us say. So you will be charged 10 rupees. Otherwise, if somebody else says that no, I will be giving you at 12 rupees, I am willing to pay 12 rupees, so that will be given to that person. Okay, for example, when bidding occurs, when auctioning occurs, let us say when the government these days is talking about 5G spectrum auctions. So they are setting some base price and then people are being asked to bid. The companies are being asked to bid. Whoever is bidding the highest, maybe that particular firm or company is given that spectrum band of 5G. So first degree price discrimination leaves no consumer surplus. Consumer surplus is what, learners? It is the difference between your willingness to pay and the actual market price. Since the market price is the same as what you were willing to pay, there is no consumer surplus, and that consumer surplus goes in the pocket of monopolist by way of monopoly profit. That is your first degree price discrimination. Let us understand what is second degree price discrimination and how it is different from first degree. In second degree price discrimination, basically it is dealing with price discounts. That is, for example, a seller says that I am selling at a discount price after a certain number of goods are purchased. For example, you're told, okay, if you purchase goods worth rupees 3,000, after that we will give you a discount of 10%. But if you buy goods below 3,000, there is no discount. This means that how much quantity you are buying, that is determining what price you will be charged. Or for different blocks of goods, different prices are charged. Okay, second degree price discrimination also sometimes is offered by way of memberships and per unit price plans that consumers choose to pay. For example, club memberships are there, cell phone, your plans, postpaid plans are there, wherein different prices, different units are charged a different price. Okay, for example, this particular graphical representation is explaining second degree price discrimination. For example, a price of 70 applies if you are, let us say, buying 30 units of a good. But if you buy next 30, that is between 30 to 60, your price comes down to 40. Okay, so what is happening here is maybe the highest theoretical price is 100, but what is the price which is being charged? 70. So you are being said that if you are buying from 0 to 30, the price that we are charging is 70. If you are buying between 30, above 30, let us say 30 to 60, the price which is being charged is, let us say, 40. Means for different blocks of good, different quantities of good, different prices are being charged. From 0 to 30, price is 70. From 30 to 60, price is 40. Means prices is being charged based on what quantity do you are buying. Right. And also what happens in case of second degree price discrimination is that there is some amount of consumer surplus which is left. Right. For example, in this graph, if you see, the highest possible price is 100. How much is this consumer being charged? He is being told that if you are buying from 0 to 30, 70 rupees is being charged. Means this difference between 100 and 70, this will be the consumer surplus. So there is some consumer surplus left when we are talking about second degree price discrimination. Whereas in case of first degree price discrimination, there is no consumer surplus. Right? Let us now understand what is third degree price discrimination. In a third degree price discrimination, different prices are being charged to different consumer groups or segments of society. Okay, what is happening in third degree price discrimination? Different prices to different consumer groups or segments of society, but all these groups have a different demand schedule. Okay, all these groups have a different elasticity of demand. So for example, I'm selling in market 1 and market 2. Market 1 has a different elasticity of demand compared to market 2. So I separate these markets as different markets and then charge different prices in both the markets. That is called as third degree price discrimination. For example, students and seniors movie prices. Okay, for example, if the government is giving different prices, if you are a student, the cinema hall is giving some offer and charging you a lesser price for the movie ticket. Or if you are a senior citizen and the cinema hall says, okay, if you are a senior citizen, get your age proof and we'll give you some discount. This means because the elasticity of demand is different between a regular moving going person or an average working age group person who has got a greater capacity to pay, we are charging in the same price. But let us say senior citizens who are not in the working age group, students who are not in the working age group, they are charged a different price. So they have divided the market based on whether you are into a working age group or you're not in a working age group. Okay. Similarly, regular and farm gasoline prices. For example, the government gives certain concessions if you are using gas or fertilizer or light electricity in a farm for agriculture use and otherwise. Then bus passes. If you are a student, you get certain concession on the bus passes, and certain times customer appreciation days are there, loyalty bonuses are given. So you divide market on the basis of elasticity. Okay, many times, for example, when we talk about Amazon Prime membership, what happens is that because you take a membership, you become an Amazon Prime member, then you are told that okay, certain extra discounts will be given to you because you are a member. So that non-members are not given those discounts. So that is third degree price discrimination, in which what are we doing? We are taking markets separately. Let me explain this graph to you and it will become clearer. Two markets are there, market 1, market 2. Okay, demand 1, this is market 1's demand curve, this is second market's demand curve, demand 2. Do you see some difference in the slope of the demand in market 1 and market 2, learners? See carefully. The demand curve of the first market is elastic, whereas the demand curve of the other is inelastic. There is a difference in elasticity in both the demand curves. Okay, let us assume that 20 is the constant marginal cost of this seller. This seller has a constant marginal cost of 20. Corresponding to each demand curve, we have a marginal revenue curve. Correct? We have a marginal revenue curve. One demand curve is elastic, other demand curve is inelastic. This company has understood that maybe in one market I am the only seller. Let us say in market 2 I am the one seller. In one market I am the only seller, other market I am there is competition. So where I have competition, the demand is elastic. Where I do not have competition, the demand is inelastic. So I divide the market. Okay, let us assume this is your demand curve 1, demand curve 2. Corresponding to the demand curve 1, you have MR1. Corresponding to demand curve 2, you have MR2. Marginal cost of production is the same. So marginal cost, let us say, assume to be constant at 20. How do we determine the equilibrium? How do we determine the profit maximizing price, learners? The point where marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. So in this case, your marginal cost will be equal to MR1 for market 1. Marginal cost will be equal to MR2 for market 2. So MR1 is equal to MC, MR2 is equal to MC. That is, the firm is determining its equilibrium or profit maximizing quantity separately for both the markets, even though the cost of production is the same. But it is trying to see that because the elasticity of demand is different in these markets, let me take the advantage of this difference in elasticity by charging different prices in different markets for the same product. Okay, so what this does is it equates its MR1 is equal to MC and MR2 is equal to MC. The point where they become equal, we say that is your equilibrium level of output. So you will get Q1 in market 1, Q2 in market 2. That will determine the quantity to be sold in market 1 and quantity to be sold in market 2, which gives them the, and then you determine the individual prices by seeing their demand curve. This way, the firm will be able to charge more price in the market where the demand is inelastic and less price in the market where the demand is elastic. Hence, the profit of the total profit. What will be the profit of the monopolist? Profit from market 1 plus profit from market 2. Because higher price is being charged in one market, lesser price is being charged in the other market, the firm will get greater profits and will earn greater revenue and greater profits compared to the situation where it would not have done any price discrimination. So a third degree price discrimination is a situation where the firm is charging different prices in different markets and these markets are being divided on the basis of elasticity of demand. Okay, now after this, let us do a comparison between perfect competition and monopoly. So it will revise your both the concepts of perfect competition and monopoly. Let us understand this. Perfect competition, you had large number of sellers selling homogeneous products. All the firms were price takers. Then The firms earned only normal profits in long run because there was freedom of entry and exit. Then in long run, we said the firm produces at the lowest point of the average cost curve. Therefore, the firms become more efficient. When we talk about monopoly, we said there is only one seller and there are no close substitutes. The firms are price makers because they are the only sellers. The firms earn supernormal profits in long run because there are barriers to entry of new firms. Price charged in monopoly is always higher than perfect competition. Think about it why. Try to just go back to the graphs. Whether the AR and MR was same in monopoly or whether it was different. Then you will get the answer. Take it as an assignment. Let why the price charged in monopoly is higher than the perfect competition. Draw the graphs of both the curves and see. And monopolist does not operate at the minimum point of your average total cost curve. Therefore, certain inefficiencies are left in case of monopoly, which was absent in perfect competition. Therefore, I told you learners that it is important to understand what is perfect competition, even though you may find it difficult to see in real life. But understanding the ideal, then only we can know the deviation from the ideal. So how monopoly is deviating from the best possible situation, we will be understanding by knowing what is perfect competition. Okay, now let us do a small assessment. Pick up the right answer. In case of perfectly competitive, perfectly price discriminating monopoly, there is no transfer of consumer surplus, deadweight loss, long run economic profits or short run economic profits. What happens when the firm is perfectly discriminating the price? That is first degree price discrimination. There is no consumer surplus. Then all forms of price discrimination are intended to do what? Why does a firm do price discrimination? To maximize sales, to minimize transaction cost, make some consumers inferior, or maximize profits. What should be the answer? Answer should be to maximize the profits. Okay, now let us just do the summary of the lecture. We say monopoly is the firm which is the sole seller in the market. Price discrimination can be done by a monopolist. Price discrimination is of three types: third degree, first degree, second degree, and third degree. In first degree, no consumer surplus is left. For example, auctions. Second degree, we saw that your some degree of consumer surplus is left because the buyers are charged prices according to the quantity they are buying. In third degree price discrimination, monopolists divided the market, separated the market based on their elasticity. Then we compared what is your difference between perfect competition and your monopoly, and how in perfect competition we see greater efficiencies by seeing lower prices and higher quantity. So next lecture, my dear learners, we will be talking about your monopolistic competition. Till then, happy learning.